pozdravljeni na novinarski konferenci. Najprej bo o obisku povedal naš minister Erjavec, potem pa še generalni sekretar.
Vse lepo pozdravljam, zlasti mojega prijatelja, generalnega sekretarja GCC-a, gre za svet za zalivske države, 6 držav so vključene v to organizacijo. Nastala je 25. maja leta 1981. Glavni cilj je pa povezovanje držav v zalivu. Zelo sem zadovoljen, da smo danes uspeli organizirati prvo konferenco, na kateri sodeluje Slovenija in pa ta organizacija Svet za zalivske države.
Welcome everybody, and especially welcome my dear friend, the Secretary General of GCC. This is an organization of 6 states that was founded on May 25th, 1981, with the main goal of connecting the Gulf states. I'm very happy that Slovenia hosts the first conference of GCC.
Glavni namen te konference pa je, na kakšen način bi poglobili sodelovanje z zalivskimi državami. Mi vidimo veliko možnosti in potencijala za izboljšanje političnega dialoga, za izboljšanje gospodarskega sodelovanja in zlasti veliko možnosti za sodelovanje tudi na drugih področjih, kot je znanost, izobraževanje na področju visokih tehnologij.
The main purpose of today's conference is to strengthen the cooperation with the Gulf states. We see a lot of potential for political dialogue, for economic cooperation, for the fields of science, education and technologies.
Imamo pa seveda skupne interese, ki si jih tudi delimo, kot je varnost, inovacije, prihodnost mladih, razvoj, boj proti terorizmu, boj proti klimatskim spremembam. To je tisto, kar nas močno povezuje.
We also share some common interests such as safety, innovations, the future of young people, fight against terrorism, climate changes. These are the topics that connect us.
Sem pa zelo zadovoljen, da je prva konferenca bila zelo uspešna, tudi udeležba je bila zelo močna in na zelo visokem nivoju, tako da so bili predstavniki 6 zalivskih držav, veleposlaniki, predstavniki gospodarstva in tudi predstavniki drugih pomembnih organizacij.
I'm very glad that the first conference was well attended and it was quite successful and organized on a high level. We had the representatives of all 6 Gulf states, the ambassadors, the representatives of the economy sector and other organizations.
Rad bi pa tudi povedal, da bo Slovenija v naslednjem letu in upam že v prvi polovici leta odprla veleposlaništvo v eni od zalivskih držav. Vendar v tem trenutku še ne morem povedati, v kateri državi. Bo se pa to zagotovo zgodilo.
And I would like to say that in the next year, I hope that at the beginning of 2017, Slovenia will establish another embassy in one of the Gulf states, but for now I cannot tell you which one that will be.
Tako da sem prepričan, da bo to tudi omogočilo še bolj poglobljeno sodelovanje med Slovenijo in pa zalivskimi državami. Moram pa reči, da je to sodelovanje tudi zelo dobro na nivoju Evropske unije, kjer potekajo redna srečanja med EU in pa zalivskimi državami. In moram reči, da tukaj Slovenija vedno ima zelo konstruktivna in pozitivna stališča.
I'm sure that the embassy will enable even closer cooperation between Slovenia and the Gulf states. And I also have to mention the cooperation on the EU level. There are regular meetings on the EU level, and Slovenia is always a constructive and a positive part of such
Da ne bom vsega sam povedal, se ja predajam besedo mojemu prijatelju, generalnemu sekretarju.
And I will not speak myself, I will like to give the floor to the Secretary General.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, my friend, Carl Erjavca.
Yeah, well, it's
Try
very
to pronounce it in
It's very difficult.
Really, I like to thank you for the invitation, and I like to thank you for the initiative for establishing such conference and for your interest in further strengthening our relationship. I'd like to congratulate you also for a very beautiful country. We've really enjoyed our time. I'm looking forward to see more. And I'd like to thank and admire the wonderful people that I've met and the spirit that I'm seeing as a resilient nation and as inspired and aspiring for a more prosperous country. Thank you, sir, for participating in the conference today. Your presence and the presence of the Mufti and others, high dignitaries in the government shows the commitment that you have for this relationship. The conference is very important. It's coming at the right time. It has and will establish networking between all players. As you have correctly indicated and seen, the participation of the GCC member states was very high. It's at a very high level. All 6 countries participated. The Ministerial Council is really supporting the conference, and this will create communication channel between both parties, and this in turn will develop confidence and trust between us all. I thank His Excellency for the very kind words. I told him in the meeting that we just completed how cold the country is and the weather is, but how warm the relationship is. I can feel the relationship, and I think it will be stronger with time. We had a very good meeting right now, and we discussed the relationship between the GCC and Slovenia, and how we can further strengthen the relationship. And we discussed in all areas. We exchanged views in the political arena, and also especially in the Middle East, and also in the economic and trade, and how we can further open channels of mutual investment and trade exchange. We've discussed the situation in the Middle East, whether it was in Syria or Iraq or Libya or Yemen. We talked about the Middle East peace process and interferences of any other countries in the region. And we also talked about countering terrorism and the importance of really fighting terrorism together. I can report, if you would allow me, Your Excellency,
Yes.
that we have a similar views in all of those situations, and we all are calling for stopping the bloodshed in these areas and call for a political solution. We believe that the political solution is the way forward, and that will help us in achieving stability and security in the region. we both agree on supporting the United Nations Special Envoys to Libya, to Syria, and to Yemen. And we agree on having a comprehensive counter-terrorism approach. We have to tackle all factors leading to terrorism. We talked about it, and we are both, the GCC and Slovenia, are committed in fighting terrorism, and in particular Daesh, and in all fields, to cooperate in all fields. I really, Your Excellency, look forward for our next meeting, and I hope that with this conference, programs and action items will be developed to further strengthen our relationship. Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Hvala lepa. So kakšno vprašanje?
Delo.
Delo newspaper.
Jure Kosec dela. Moje vprašanje je za oba. In sicer me zanima, glede na to, da se strinjamo vsi, da je bila današnja konferenca precej uspešna, vsaj sodeč po obiskanosti. Kakšni so naslednji koraki? Omenili ste, gospod minister, odpiranje novega veleposlaništva, ampak še vseeno bi rad od vas slišal, kakšni konkretni koraki lahko sledijo takšni konferenci.
A question for the both of you. We all agree that this conference was really successful, also regarding the participation. But I would like to know what are the further steps. You mentioned the new embassy, but I would like to hear more concrete further steps after this conference.
No, namen takšne konference je predvsem, da identificiramo možnosti, ki bi lahko poglobili to sodelovanje. In zato je dobro, da na tej konferenci so tudi poleg predstavniki držav sodelovali tudi predstavniki gospodarstva. In smo ugotovili veliko področji, kjer imamo skupne interese. Vsi razmišljamo že za naprej, glede na globalne izzive. Gre zlasti za strategije 2030 in v okviru tega uvajanje novih tehnologij. Tukaj Slovenija ima znanje na področju visokih tehnologij, na področju zelenih tehnologij, potem tudi na nivoju sodelovanja EU in zalivske države lahko tukaj Slovenija igra pomembno vlogo. Seveda, ko bomo odpirali veleposlaništvo v eni od zalivskih držav, takrat bom s seboj tudi peljal gospodarsko delegacijo, organizirali bomo tudi poslovno konferenco, kjer bomo zelo konkretno potem videli, na kakšen način to gospodarsko sodelovanje tudi realizirati. Treba je pa vedeti, da zalivske države želijo diversifikacijo svojega gospodarstva in tukaj seveda Slovenija lahko tudi svojim znanjem kaj doprinese. Mi smo pa tudi zainteresirani za investicije. Vemo, da obstajajo kar močni investicijski skladi v zalivskih državah. Mislim, da bi lahko tudi to priložnost izkoristili.
So the main purpose of such a conference is to identify the possibilities for even closer cooperation, where these possibilities are. So it is very important that there are the representatives of the states present, but also the representatives of the economy sector. So actually we have identified such fields. We have common interests regarding the global level. We both agree that we have to respect the 2030 agenda, to implement new technologies, and I have to mention that Slovenia has the know-how in these fields, also in the green technology. But also on the EU level, Slovenia can play an important role. When talking about the new embassy in the Gulf states, I can tell you that when we will open this embassy, there will be a strong economic delegation there, and we will hold an economic conference, so we will be able to establish how to realize, how to implement our goals. We know that the Gulf states are trying to diversify their economy, and I believe that Slovenia can contribute in this regard as well. But on the other hand, Slovenia is of course interested in new investments, and there are of course strong investment funds in the Gulf states.
Well, actually I think His Excellency has covered everything. And I think he took very good notes in the conference. But it shows the vision is really clear for the leadership. It is a process of cooperation. And this process, I think now we can say that it has a very good start. This conference is only the beginning, where people get to know each other and get to define areas of cooperation. And of course, those areas will increase with time. We have been working with the EU. Slovenia is a member in the EU. And this relationship with Slovenia will only augment further the relationship with the EU. It will not undermine it. We can explore many areas, especially in the, as His Excellency indicated, in the technology and in the areas of trade. We have to identify what are the barriers of those trades and provide the environment so that private sectors together can work. We identified that we need to put programs and how we can encourage the youth to have entrepreneur possibilities and programs. We leave it to the private sectors to identify areas, and they know they are smarter than even us in finding opportunities for cooperation and investment. But I can report that the conference was successful in establishing networking, communication. We hope with time we can build also the confidence and trust so that both can work in a safe, economical and investment environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Če še kakšno vprašanje? Slovenian Press Agency.
Ila Mihajlović, STA. Vemo, da so že številna slovenska podjetja prisotna v zalivskih državah. Vprašala bi rada, na kakšen način lahko te obstoječe gospodarske vezi pripomorejo k nadaljnjemu razvoju posla.
We are aware that there are many Slovenian companies already present in the Gulf states. We would like to know in what kind of way such existing cooperation and network can contribute for strengthening and making even better developments in the future.
Okay. Thank you. Well, any existing relationship, we build on it. And the reports are good. They are happy. And we are establishing lessons learned, how we can further smooth the economic and trade cooperation in all fields, relying on lessons learned from the experience and building on it, and also opening new opportunities for new, more companies, and also to exchange. It's not only one way, it's both ways. And we can also exchange with Slovenia and how we can either establish businesses or joint investment. But as I said, this is for the private sectors to identify. Our job is to provide that environment so that they can interact and excel. Thank you.
Moram reči, da sem vesel, da so že slovenska podjetja prisotna v zalivu. Tudi moram reči, da izvajajo pritisk, da je nujno potrebno, da čim prej odpremo veleposlaništvo v zalivu. Moram pa reči, da pač globalni trendi se premikajo v smer da zaliv finančni globalen center, ne nazadnje so pa zalivske države ključne in izjemno pomembne, kar se tiče zagotavljanja stabilnosti v soseščini. Že generalni sekretar je povedal, da so se pogovarjali o situaciji v Siriji, Irak, Palestina, Libija. In jaz mislim, da Slovenija, če hoče slediti vsem tem globalnim trendom, mora biti prisotna močneje v zalivu. Pričakujem pa, da tudi na podlagi današnje konference in tudi na podlagi naslednjih korakov, da se bo povečalo število slovenskih podjetij, ki bodo pač iskali svoje poslovne priložnosti tudi v zalivu. In obratno, prepričan sem, da tudi zalivske države bodo v Sloveniji videli državo, ki nudi tudi določene priložnosti.
Yes, I'm very happy that we have already companies in the Gulf states, and I must also indicate that they also make a lot of pressure on us to establish the embassy in the Gulf area. And we have to respect the global trends, and of course the Gulf states are becoming an important global centers, for example financial centers. And the Gulf region is also very important to ensure the stability of the region. As the Secretary General mentioned, we talked about Syria, we talked about Iraq, Palestine, Libya. And I believe that Slovenia has to be part of this global trends and also has to be strongly present in the Gulf area. And I believe also that because of this conference, there will be new companies present in the future in the Gulf region, but also, on the contrary, that the Gulf states will see some opportunities in Slovenia as well.
Hvala lepa. Thank you.